As you know, over the last few months, the economy and people all over the world have taken a massive blow financially due to the coronavirus pandemic. People have lost their businesses, their jobs, their savings, their financial security, loved ones, and their minds. And the accumulating stress is causing some fear and panic for people when it comes to their decision making, financial security, and moving forward. I think now, more than ever, is the time to get in the driver's seat and have these conversations about money and mindset and help you thrive financially and mentally now and beyond. So, backed by popular demand, I have teamed up with Joe Del Monte, a personal financial consultant and founder of Parkside Wealth in Mooresville, and we will be putting on a Money and Mindset series starting Thursday, June 18th through Thursday, July 16th, right here on the Mental Fitness Matters Show on WSIC Radio. Hey, Joe, good morning, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Tracy. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely. It's so good to see you.
Likewise.
Feel free to reintroduce yourself to listeners for the very first time. I had Joe on a couple shows back, but I want him to reintroduce himself for people who are just tuning in and for the people who don't know you.
Yeah, thank you. Joe Del Monte. I've been in and around the financial services industry for going on 20 years. And basically, to sum it up, is I notice there's a lot of stress and anxiety associated with money. In my line of work, we always want to focus on the math and the numbers, and there's deeper conversations that we need to have. And people make mistakes with money. I've made them myself. And so I started a business called Parkside Wealth, and I focus on financial coaching. And I help people basically get out of the stress and the mess as it relates to money problems.
That's awesome, and that's huge. And right now, more than ever, it's a big time to be having these conversations about money, around stress. And the truth is, mental health and financial health and wealth go in the same pot. I mean, what we're normally seeing right now is a spike in stressors because people have lost their jobs. People are financially stressed. And so what you do, the timing of what you do, I think is really, really important, especially for the people that we serve and for the viewers watching this show. So I'm excited to have you on.
Likewise, yeah.
Let's get into it. Let's talk about the series, okay? Money and mindset. The truth is that there's a big correlation between mental health and money concerns. Mental health, when you look at managing money, there's a lot of people, maybe they already have stress or anxiety or mental health concerns. If those things are happening, we're seeing a spike in some of the financial concerns that come along with that. People worrying about money can cause poor mental health. So that correlation is what we really want to begin to look at. We have a couple facts that we want to share with you. 14.8% of people making less than $35,000 a year say that they feel feelings of hopelessness, sadness, and stress and anxiety most of the time. Only 2.5% of people making over $75,000 had the same response. Those who struggle to pay off debt are more than twice as likely to experience a host of mental health problems, including depression and severe anxiety. Think about that right now, guys. We are living in times where stress is higher, anxiety is higher, people are socially isolated. So there's some things that are already coming up causing mental health to spike. Now you take the financial crisis on top of that. You have some stats as well from a financial standpoint. What are you seeing in your industry? We're seeing a lot of those things from us from a mental health perspective, stress, anxiety, trouble sleeping. Yeah. What are you seeing from a financial standpoint with some of your clients?
Yeah, I think, some of these stats are probably things that we maybe already assumed, but it's interesting when you put the actual stats and numbers behind them. One of them is in relation to divorce, which is one of the things in my line of work that we see. We always try to protect people from those major, I would say, pitfalls that can totally derail a retirement plan or derail finances. And divorce is one of those that we don't want to talk about, but we kind of have to because it's a huge one.
Yeah.
So check these out, Tracy. These are pretty interesting. Couples that argue about finances are 30% more likely to get divorced. Okay. Here's another interesting one. So a lot of times when you have a couple, you have one that might be the saver and one might be the spender. The feeling that one spouse spent money foolishly increased the likelihood of divorce by 45%.
Wow.
So if you have one spouse who says, hey, my husband, he spent money on that four-wheeler he didn't need. When those things happen over time, you're increasing the probability that you're going to have a major breakup in your family.
Absolutely.
Another one that I thought was really interesting, And this is one that a lot of us in the I guess in the finance world know about. There's a study done in 2015 by Transamerica, and they interviewed retirees and asked them what their top concerns were. And their top concern was running out of money. Now, when you think about what that came in over, it was a bigger concern than loneliness in retirement. It was a bigger concern than boredom in retirement. And this one was a shocker. It was a bigger concern than declining health.
Wow.
So as you get older, you have less of a fear of your health declining than you do about actually running out of money. So that, statistics just sort of prove, I think, what we've already believed is if you have money problems and it introduces stress in your life, it compounds a lot of other things. And you can't have money problems without the stress. And very few people have the stress without some sort of money situation. And I would say that to further that, it doesn't discriminate, the problems with money. They don't discriminate. If you feel like you're broke, you have a certain set of problems. If you have a lot of money, you have a certain set of problems, and it wears on you from a stress and anxiety standpoint. So,
and I think that's such a great point, and I've noticed that no matter the industry that you're in, you're exactly right. That does not eliminate money problems. It does not eliminate stress having an impact. We are all able to have some challenges in any one of those areas. And that's what this series is about, and that's who this series is for. Really, anyone looking to work on ways to improve their mindset. And when we start to talk about this, we're going to talk about the brain and its power. Our brain controls everything that we do. And we have between 50,000 and 70,000 thoughts per day. That's a lot of thinking. And the reality is most of our thoughts are dwelling on something that we thought about yesterday, something negative in the past, or something that we can't control in the future. So that leaves a lot of time for our thoughts to get in our way. And if we're not thinking clearly, that's going to impact our emotions, and that's going to lead to our decision making. So if we're making decisions from a stressed or emotional state, that's going to have an impact on everything that we want to be able to do.
100%. I think, one of the big things is that we always look at things in a vacuum.
Yeah.
We look at, how am I doing with money? How am I doing with relationships? How am I doing with business? How am I doing as a parent? How am I doing in my fitness or my health? We look at things in a vacuum, and we often sort of put, well, your mindset kind of gets put to the side, or that's sort of maybe a feel-good thing. But, nothing happens until you've made the decision in your mind.
That's it.
And whether or not you actually consciously know that you made that decision, and that's where a lot of mistakes with money are made. People make decisions subconsciously because of things like the way that they were brought up around money, past failures that they've had around money, past successes they've had around money, what their friends said to them about money, feeling the need to please other people and their decisions with money. And so all of these things go into the decisions that we make in all areas of life, not just money. And that's why it's really important that, these two things clearly talk to each other.
Absolutely.
And so getting your mind wrapped around, I talked to a woman the other day who said, I've never been able to save and get ahead. And when she said that, it was like she just broadcast across her whole life that she's never going to get ahead.
Yeah.
And it was like, whoa, we got to stop with the math and get to why you say that and why you feel like you're defeated forever. Let's break through that first. Then we can make the math work afterwards.
Absolutely. And you just brought up another point about how those words have power, right? And I've run across a couple people myself where they really are afraid to do anything going forward because of where they are right now. That feeling of being stuck or feeling trapped or feeling stuck. And feeling hopeless and helpless in terms of not sure how to make a decision. Is it a safe time to make a decision? And so a lot of times freezing and doing nothing. But there are a lot of things that you can do. There are a lot of resources, and we want to be that and provide that for you. So this series is for you if you're tired of feeling stressed out, if you're worried, if you're hesitating on making decisions for the future, not sure and really not letting go of some of the decisions you made in the past. If you're really wanting to have some different tools and techniques to get your mindset and your financial situation in a better place, then this series is for you. So what we're going to do, we're going to tell you guys about the format of this series. So we're going to be starting Thursday, June 18th through Thursday, July 16th, 8:30 a.m. The format that we're going to have, each show we're going to go into different topics regarding money and mental fitness, okay? You're going to learn some really good strategies that we've used with executives, athletes, and other professionals on how to get their mental fitness and their financial fitness in order. Practical solutions that you can take home and use immediately. So what we want to be able to do for you guys is every single week, we're going to start, number one, with mindset. You know, like what we just talked about, this mental component right here, you can't do anything without it. And so really being able to get your mind in shape, getting your mind prepared for what we're going to talk about is going to put you in the best possible position to be successful. So during each show, we will provide you guys with 3 practical takeaways. So you're going to get 3 solutions that you can use starting that day to begin to shift your mindset and also begin to see some changes in your financial wealth as well.
Yeah, it's basically an all-encompassing show. I think, we put our heads together and said, I have a lot of people that I work with that the problem goes beyond the math, and it's always about decision making. It's always about the mind. And you have a lot of people that you work with that deal with anxiety, depression, feeling of failure and self-limiting beliefs and things like that. And some of those come from decisions about money. So it's like, man, there's a lot of people that really need this kind of help. So I think I would say also what the show is not the answer to get rich. This is not the millionaire makeover show.
Right.
We're really trying to help people where they are with the the struggles and the depressions and the anxiety that they have about money. It doesn't matter if you feel like you're broke or you've made it, wherever you are. Everyone has their anxieties about money and things like that. So we hope to give you some practical things that you can walk away with each show to say, if I start implementing these 3 things, you're going to see improvement. Not a quick fix by any means. These don't solve all your problems, but the goal, I think, Tracy, is to get people at least taking steps in the right direction.
Absolutely.
So that the future can start to look brighter over time.
Absolutely. And I think what you're talking about there, too, and the value that we're going to provide, I think it's really important to have professionals alongside you, because a lot of times people starting a goal, whether that's a physical fitness goal, whether it's a mental fitness goal, financial fitness goal, people start goals and have one piece of the puzzle. And so I love what you just said there. We complement each other very well, because you can't really do one successfully and fully without the other. When you're thinking about taking care of your overall health and wellness, it's not just one component. It's not just, how do I change my diet? If I'm changing my diet and haven't done anything in regards to exercise and sleep, and those things that really have an impact on our overall health and wellness, then you're going to always feel like there's a missing piece. And what we want to do is help provide you with some practical strategies that you feel like you can get a hold of, that you feel like, you know what? Maybe if I'm just shifting my thinking around what I have, maybe I do have more than what I realized. And maybe it can go a lot further if there's some tools that we can take a look at, giving you a game plan of where to start and walking you along the way. And that's why we decided to make this a series.
Yeah.
Because it's not just one conversation.
It's many conversations, and it's the start of many conversations that hopefully we can inspire you to have in your home, with your spouse, with your family, by yourself and your time alone, to just be, consciously thinking of this. The other thing I would want to add too, Tracy, is don't feel bad wherever you are.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in, you would call it the money business, I guess, for, lack of a better word, and I've made all the same mistakes that everybody else has. So, don't feel bad of where you are, where you're starting from, and just recognize that, some of the things that are going to help you are not so dramatic that they're going to cause so much pain in your life to change, right?
Yeah.
I mean, don't you notice that sometimes with people, it's just making the small changes, like you mentioned, a small shift, a small tweak here and there. You don't go from, needing to lose, 50 pounds to becoming a bodybuilder. It doesn't happen like that.
Right.
You go, I'm going to lose 1 pound at a time.
Yep.
Right? I'm going to lose a pound a week, or drop 300 calories a day. You start with baby steps. And so that's what this show really is to kind of get you off on the right track, let you leave the show with something practical that you could start to put into practice, and then just get you walking on that path.
I love that. And what you can really begin to expect, just like Joe just described, you can really begin to expect some practical ways to get your mindset shifted in the right direction, getting some tools in place so that after your mindset is shifted, you know how to use the tools that we're putting in place, and then we get to practice using them.
Yep.
The beauty of being able to do this week by week is we want you guys to be interactive with us. And so we're going to set up the opportunity that as we're going through this show and as we're going through this series, we want to leave the door open for you to ask questions. That's what we're here for. We want to leave the door open for you to ask questions that we can come back on and address them the follow-up week.
Yes, absolutely. The whole idea is that we're helping people, or we're trying to help people change your mind about money. That's what this is. And we were actually trying to come up with a title.
Right.
I think we were going on for about a half hour with different concepts. But the whole idea is to change your mind about money. Once you change your mind about money, then you can start to change the way that you treat money. And then you can start to get the result you want from your money.
Absolutely.
The money is only a utility.
Yeah.
And it's a utility we all use, we all have to use. And it's up to us how we use it. So, starts with the focus on it, the focus on your mind, where you're at, and, making small steps to improve from there, and just behavior modification. We're all constantly going through it to improve if we're trying to.
Absolutely. And having some steps and tools and guides along the way that you can get to your goals. You'll have a more positive outlook on your mental health. You'll have a more positive outlook on your financial health. You'll have a financial snapshot, so you'll be able to kind of see where you are. And as you guys are listening to us and as we're having these sessions week by week, you will be able to reach out to us, whether you're using our email. Mm-hmm. How can they contact you, Joe? Like, let's say if somebody's looking for a direct way as we're going through this series, and it might be more of a financial question versus a mindset question. Yeah. What are some ways that they could actually reach out to you in the midst of week by week to get a hold of some of these questions?
Yeah, the easiest way would probably just be to go to my website, parksidewealth.com. There's a couple different ways you can reach out to me there. You'll see links all over the website if you wanted to do, I offer everybody a free 30-minute, no cost, no obligation consultation. So that's a great way to sort of get a snapshot as to where you are, what you might need to do to start improve. If you have some sort of, questions that you just need answers to, or want to start to have some conversations, or wondering what it's all about, scroll down to the bottom, just click the Contact Me tab, and just type your questions in. Those go right to my personal email, and I respond that same day. So
that's awesome. And you guys can reach me at tracyalston.com if there's something coming up in regards to mental health, mental fitness, and how those things are tying into some of the things that you may be noticing from a financial perspective, or vice versa. If you're noticing some of your financial decisions are based on some of the decisions for mental health, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at tracyalston.com, and we'll get those questions taken care of. So what we want to do, if you feel like these are some of the things that have been coming up for you, you're noticing that you're having some barriers mentally, not only around financial health. What we're talking about right now applies really to all areas of life, right?
It does.
It goes hand in hand. So if you're noticing whether it's challenges of getting out of your own way from a mental standpoint, making decisions or not sure what decisions to make as it relates to your financial situations, this show is for you. We want you guys to tune in. It'll start off Thursday, June the 18th, and we will run through Thursday, July the 16th. So you can expect us here every Thursday morning from those dates starting at 8:30. This will be your chance to really kind of get online with us and have some training, Yeah,
absolutely. The other thing I would say, too, is if there's topics that come up that you guys hear of and we maybe don't cover enough of, and you think, hey, this would be interesting to explore this further, those are other good ways to contact us.
Yeah.
Reach out to Tracy or myself and say, hey, I'm dealing with these kinds of things, or I have questions on these kinds of things. Is that a topic you guys would be wanting to discuss further? We want to be able to offer this as a value to the community. So it's good to know what you want to hear us talk about.
I'm really excited. The very first time I met Joe, I'm so excited about this partnership that we're doing here and offering services and offering solutions and offering just information and resources. The Mental Fitness Matters community, what we're designed to do is provide you with strategies, tips, and solutions on how to improve your overall mental health and mental wellness. And I remember the first time meeting you, you just walked into the office, not coming in to sell anything, really just coming in to be a resource. Hey, this is what I do. Did you know? Mm-hmm. And normally when we have those type of people walking into our office, we're immediately thinking the sales coming, there's a sales coming. So, but my staff, Susan and I, we were standing there and we were talking to you. We probably talked to you almost 30 minutes went by.
Probably, yeah.
And it was just like, that was so much valuable information.
Yeah.
And I knew then, I was like, this guy has something special. He has something
I
special
appreciate it.
that people need to hear. And when we look at money and financial, we'd have to realize that there's an abundance out there. There's an abundance out there. The lack is not because it's not there.
No.
The lack can come from that energetic block and that mindset block on where you're supposed to be. So we really want to have a conversation so people know that you have access. You have access. And how do you get that access? There's steps to take. And we want to be a part of that solution.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about education, right? The same time I walked in because I have friends that are in the same field in other states, and they get it too. And I said, let me walk in and just start to talk to whoever works here and owns the place. And I caught them eating lunch, so I was like, man, my timing is perfect. And they started educating me. You guys started educating me on some of this stuff. I'm not trained in maximizing the power of our mind and thinking and mental fitness and those types of things. I'm not formally trained in that. I intuitively sort of know that there's a piece there that's missing when I'm working with people about money. And so when I walked into your establishment there, and you guys started, educating me, and it was like, wow, we're kind of hitting the target together here. There's a thing that is missing, I think, overall in society, that we blame our money problems on money. We blame our mental health things on other things.
Right.
And it all starts in the way that we think. It really does. I mean, a perfect example is when I sit down with people, the ones that have made up their mind they're going to be successful, they're going to follow the steps, they're going to be teachable and coachable, it happens.
Absolutely.
The ones that keep labeling themselves as this is never going to work, I'm always going to fail, they haven't switched off their mind. It's like quitting smoking. Like you can wear every patch you want. If you haven't made up your mind you're going to do it, I promise you it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So they go hand in hand, and it's educating people. Just the power that you guys have over your mind, over your money. We want to put that back in your hands and give you some practical ways to do that.
Well, we are super pumped about this upcoming series. We hope that you are as well. We look forward to seeing you starting Thursday, June 18th through Thursday, July 18th. You'll be right here with us talking about money and mindset. Joe, is there anything else you want to finish off with before we end today's show?
No, I'm looking forward to the opportunity. Like I said, I think this is going to be important for people. I would just encourage everybody to tune in, regardless of where you think you are. I think there's something here for everybody. Don't feel bad about where you're starting off. I've worked with people with negative money. I've worked with people with more money than they know what to do with, and I promise you, they're all stressed. So,
right.
Be okay where you are. If we could kind of help in providing education, some tips and tricks, and kind of get you at least your feet moving in the right direction, that's the goal. And use Tracy and I as a resource.
We want our Mental Fitness Matters community to go out, have a great week, be great, shine bright like the stars that you are. We cannot wait to see you next week.